Jason adjusted his tie, glancing at the clock on his office wall. It was the final interview of the day, and he was more than ready to wrap things up. His company, a rapidly expanding marketing firm, had been searching for a senior strategist, and he had spent the entire day meeting candidates. A soft knock at the door made him look up. His assistant peeked in. "Sir, the last candidate is here." Jason gave a distracted nod, flipping to the resume in front of him without even bothering to check the name. "Send them in." The door swung open, and the moment the candidate stepped inside, time seemed to slow. His fingers, which had been idly tapping against the desk, stilled. His breath hitched, just for a second, before he schooled his expression into indifference. Emily, his ex-wife. She looked almost exactly as she had 3 years ago, poised, confident, dressed in a sleek black blazer with her hair neatly pulled into a professional bun. But the instant their eyes met, he saw the color drain from her face. The folder in her hands trembled slightly, and she hesitated before taking a single, uncertain step forward. Jason watched the emotions flicker across her features. Shock, disbelief, then sheer panic. He let her sit with it for a moment before finally breaking the silence. "Ms. Carter," he said smoothly, as though she were just another candidate. "Please have a seat." Emily hesitated, something he had never seen her do before. She finally sat, gripping the edges of her folder, as if it were the only thing keeping her steady. I didn't know you worked here," she managed to say at last. Jason leaned back in his chair, tilting his head slightly as he studied her. A slow smirk curved his lips. "Work here," he echoed. "I own this company, Emily." Her eyes widened, and he noticed the way her throat bobbed as she swallowed. Jason knew exactly what was going through her mind. The last time they'd been together, he was just a struggling entrepreneur, barely keeping his startup alive. Meanwhile, she had craved luxury, security, things he hadn't been able to offer at the time. That was why she had walked away. That was why she had chosen someone else. "Well," Jason said, flipping through her resume with feigned interest, "this is unexpected." Emily remained silent, clearly rattled. Jason let her sit in that discomfort a little longer before speaking again. "You have experience," he noted, tapping his fingers against the desk. "Let's talk about that. Why did you leave your last position?" Emily straightened in her chair, as if trying to reclaim some sense of composure. "Company downsizing," she answered. Jason heard the lie in her voice instantly. "Downsizing," he repeated, his tone laced with skepticism. His fingers drummed against the desk, his eyes never leaving hers. "Interesting." She flinched at the knowing edge in his voice. She knew that he knew. He knew. He must have kept tabs on her, just as she had secretly kept tabs on him. Emily had lost everything after their divorce. Her relationship, her financial stability, her reputation. The man she had left Jason for, Mark, had seemed like the perfect choice at the time. He was wealthy, successful, everything Jason wasn't back then. But once their affair turned into a real relationship, the illusion shattered. Mark was controlling, manipulative, and worst of all, unfaithful. By the time she realized her mistake, it was too late. Jason had moved on, and she had been left to pick up the broken pieces of her life. Now, sitting across from him, she saw just how far he had come and how far she had fallen. "Jason," she whispered. "This isn't personal," he cut her off, his voice calm yet firm. "This is business. And in business, trust is everything." Emily inhaled sharply, his words cutting deeper than she expected. She understood exactly what he meant. She had broken his trust once, and now it was costing her the opportunity she so desperately needed. Jason stood, buttoning his suit jacket, a silent signal that the interview was over. "I appreciate your time," he said, his tone polite but distant. "Good luck with your job search." Emily parted her lips as if to say something, but no words came. Slowly, she stood, gripping her folder tighter. With a slight nod, she turned and walked toward the door. Jason watched her go. He felt no anger, no bitterness, only closure. 3 years ago, she had walked away from him, thinking she had won. Today, he was the one walking away, knowing that he had.